Welcome back to Boston has entered the chat. No Bruins party is complete without Sophia. Sophia, just so you know, every time people meet me and they recognize me from Nesson, they go, "Oh, you work at Nesson? I see you all the time." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." I think maybe a picture, an autograph, and they go, "How's Sophia? She seems so cool." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, she's great. Thank you,
Never
Sophia."
about you, Travis.
Yeah, I know.
It's never about
I know.
you.
Sophia Jurksztowicz joins us here on Boston has entered the chat. Before we talk Blackhawks tonight, let's reflect on what happened in the nation's capital last night. What were your reactions from that win?
I have so many reactions, but first my reaction is to this beautiful intro. Thank you for that. Tell them that I love them all when you meet them. But no, thank you so much. I heard your tease into break, and then you said coming up next, it's Sophia. And I was like, oh, wow, no last name. Do I have like the Elvis status? Like no last name needed? No, like Prince, Elvis? I'm like, wait, where's the last name? But I kind of like it.
I actually think you're at the level now, icon status. You can just take out Sophia and be a symbol of some sort. Perhaps a hockey stick or something.
Dude, my ego, when I go back to Toronto, is so inflated when I'm in Boston because Bruins fans are so loyal. I swear to God, you could put, I don't know, like a talking mop, and they'd be like, I love that mop. It doesn't matter. If you're talking Bruins, they love you. So thank you to all Bruins Nation and you guys. Also, I was going to make a comment. Mean for having me on in the morning, but actually because it was late last night, but you guys gave me the latest time slot for the show. So thank you for letting me sleep in a little because we are turning it back around today. Yes. So to answer your question, listen, I'm going to say this. Casey knows this because we host the Hockey Hub together, but I am not worried as people are about this team. Everyone's like, they're not going to be good. Yes, this is the retool. I don't think we're going to have the same freaking year we had 2-3 years ago with that record setting or before and after, like couching that. We had some good years other than last year. I'm not saying that's what it's going to be. There was a time, I think ever since I really got to the Bruins 6 years ago, that I was like, yeah, they're competing for the President's Trophy every single year. That's not what I'm saying. But everyone who's like, this is going to suck, they're going to have to grind out games, it's going to be hard to watch, I completely disagree. And we're going to see lulls, just like we see, guess what, in every single NHL team, except one time with the Bruins in that record-setting year. Like, that was an anomaly. It set NHL records. Duh. So, like, let's not put that as the standard. You see the best teams go through lulls. You see 8 seeds win the Stanley Cup. It's going to be okay. And last night, obviously, I would have liked more shots on net. That was kind of hard. It was like almost the end of the second period, and we're looking at 10 shots on goal. I was like, okay, we don't like this. But Jeremy Swayman was great. The top line was clicking. The PK, which wasn't that good last year, was great. And the power play had some good looks in the first period. I don't think they registered a shot in that first power play period, but there was a good chance with Arvidsson and Middlestat that looked good. And obviously they capitalized eventually on the power play. No power play goes at 100% anyway, but what we're looking at is are the breakouts good? Is the passing good? Is it faster? Do they have puck possession? Are they getting opportunities? And the answer was yes. So for me, all good things with game one.
And heading into last night in game one, Marco Sturm set the expectations for this team not too high, kind of in the middle, and saying that they just need to find their identity, and he's looking for growth. Do you think that he should be setting expectations higher? Do you think this is a playoff team, or is that just too far ahead of a goal right now to think about?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do like the fact that you bring up the expectations and are they, too low or too high. I think to the media, maybe he's just, and that's a coach's job, it's especially without a captain, to protect the team and to protect the room. So I think he's kind of saying those things, not saying that they're not authentic, because his goals aren't Stanley Cup, and I don't think they should be this early unless all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, this team is way more stacked, or this young talent that's coming out is way better than we thought, or they're clicking better. But for now, I think it's too early, so that's part of the reason there's that answer. But he's protecting his team too, so that if he comes out and he's like, listen, we're gonna be the best, forget next year, we got this, and they don't have a captain, and the media takes that narrative and that's not happening, then that room is getting messages with the guys and the girls in the room asking questions about, like, you guys are below expectations, and that's gonna like be a bit of a toxic vibe in the room. So he's protecting them a little bit. I don't think his expectations should be higher yet, but I think internally he does have them. And that's what, you're an athlete, no matter what level, you want the best. And I'm sure there's that fire within him. And I think he's just kind of teaming it right now.
Good morning, Soph. All right.
Hi, Case.
Hi. Well, yeah, and Marco Sturm has mentioned that he's not a big picture guy as well. You and I have talked about it on the Hockey Hub. We were very hyped for these guys feeling some type of way about being underestimated. They kept sneaking that into conversations. They kept sneaking that into scrums. Let everyone continue to underestimate us. They're taking on a Chicago Blackhawks team who are also severely underestimated, had the Florida Panthers on their toes. This young group showing that they're going to be, try to be hard to play against as well. And then there's a reunion tonight with a number of former Bs, Bertuzzi, Donato, Foligno, Grzelcyk. What does that mean in terms of just like the energy that we can expect out of tonight's matchup?
I mean, the energy is going to be high just because it's a home opener. It's back-to-back, so the guys will be buzzing. It's so funny when it's back-to-back games. I always joke about how the media spins a narrative. It's either like they're not going to have energy because they're tired when they don't play well, or they had the energy because it was back-to-back, so they're feeding off the momentum. So no one really friggin' knows what comes with the back-to-back, but I think the boys will be buzzing because it's only game 2, so you can't be tired yet. You come off a win. Like you said, you're facing some former teammates. The TD Garden, the Bruins crowd is the best in the world, and they're going to be, they're going to feed off of that. So expectations for tonight, I do expect it to be I don't think any team's going to blow the other one out of the water. I do see another Bruins win, and I see it kind of like a grind-out win where it's not going to be obvious. It could go either way, just like it did with this game in the first or second period, and then in the third, either the Bruins are going to come back being down one. I don't know why I think that, but they're either going to come back or they're going to pull away. But I do see it being a 2-0-0 season to start. It'll be nice to see Grizzy, Foligno, like you mentioned, some of the former players. Obviously, Connor Bedard in the house. That's always fun when you're watching a legendary or generational player. So I expect the vibe to be good. And remember, just plugging my show shamelessly, but we have Charlie Jacobs, the CEO and governor of the Boston Bruins, at our pregame show. So I want to get his vibe, his questions today. This is kind of like, we have the opening ceremony with the Garden. It's good. It's a celebration. It's the start of the season. It's going to be good vibes and a good game.
It is good vibes, and I like that you're taking the B's tonight from your lips to the hockey god's ears. I hope it happens. Let's talk about formula here, because we've been talking about that this morning. I mean, obviously defense, Swayman, if he could play like he did last night, you're in good shape. And then, of course, that top line scoring goals. But I also see, you have to capitalize on mistakes. When the other team makes mistakes, you have got to put the biscuit in the basket for this team. Is this a formula here, Sophia? Low scoring, grind it out, kind of rock fight type games here, just old school hockey, really. Is that the formula for success for the Bruins?
I mean, I think that's what we're going to see in a lot of the games. I don't think low scoring is the formula you want to adopt, where you're like, okay, we'll just be low scoring. But to your point, I know that's not what you're saying. The question is, and it has been, and already I heard the narrative spinning because the only guys that got on the board for the Bruins were that top line. And so the broadcasters yesterday were like, well, where are they going to get secondary scoring? And good question. I'm not knocking it. Good question, good point. But if we see the top line click again and the top line click again, the question then is going to be like, do they have enough? Because that top line can't be the only one that's scoring. I think yes, and I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see some good stuff out of Fraser Mitten. We're obviously hoping Pavel Zacha has a better season, not saying he had a bad one, but he can get that secondary scoring. But it's not like they're stacked up and down the line like they were many years ago when they had a number one center in Bergeron and then a number one on any other team, but a number two on our team in David Krejci, and then Charlie Coyle. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be high-scoring stakes for the Bruins night in and night out, but they're definitely on focusing on better defense. Marco Sturm has made that clear. The broadcast, our guys on the desk have made that clear. Judd and Brick, like that is going to be a really big key to their success. And Jeremy Swayman and Jonas Korpisalo having better years. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, but hey, that's what we do as broadcasters. You never give it straight. Yes, Travis, I do think that's one of the formulas to their success.
Okay.
Really quick, Soph, because like you mentioned, I mean, the top line has been all of the conversation, and there's not much hope when it comes to secondary scoring. We know that I'm ever the optimist. Is there anyone that you want to kind of see pop tonight? Because Spencer Knight can be a surprise between the pipes for the Blackhawks. Kind of stood off with the Florida Panthers for quite some time there. We're seeing success in high danger chances, but is there anyone that you're just like, hey, I want to see this guy rally?
You know what, Casey, you cut out for a quick second. Is there anyone who what? Sorry, what's the question?
That you want to see rally or score tonight or like make an impact outside of that top line?
Yeah, I would love to see, and I know this is your boy, I would love to see AC Mont get on the board. I compared him before to, I'm going to stop doing this. No one's come at me at Twitter, but I said the grind that we saw in one of the preseason games, and actually even yesterday on the desk, the guys were saying he may have had one of the best camps out of everyone. And it was a great camp in general, so everyone had a good camp, but he really stood out. He may have had one of the best camps. I loved his grind. I love this, like, it was just this like tireless attitude that, it, again, reminded me of Brad Marchand. I'm not saying he is him, but reminded me of that, like, there's no quit. Sometimes Brad would be like in the corner. I'm like, he's not going to retrieve that puck, and he would. And AC Mont kind of gave me that vibe. So I would love to see him get on the board and be that secondary scoring guy. Maybe get a shorty. Not saying I want them to have a penalty, but just kind of those vibes. And I want that for him.